This evening, first, a terrifying night at a West Coast Demerara restaurant. 5 armed men stormed in, robbing patrons and abducting a teenage girl, but their escape takes a dramatic turn. Plus, outrage in Den Amstel as residents demand answers over shoddy work on their community ground. Are taxpayers' money going to waste? Also, after nearly 6 years, a businessman admits to the brutal murder of his ex-wife, what led to his chilling confession in court. And a senior GRA official is in hot water over alleged fraudulent property valuation. What this could mean for real estate integrity in Guyana. Finally, millions in Chile remains in the dark as a massive power outage cripples the country. Stay with us. Details on these stories and more coming up next on Headline News Update. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for February 26, 2025. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, police in Regional Division 3 are investigating an armed robbery at the Tide Restaurant and Bar in La Jealousy, West Coast Demerara, which occurred around 11 p.m. on Monday, February 24th. 5 masked men armed with cutlasses stormed the establishment, robbing several victims before abducting a 15-year-old schoolgirl. During the attack, 61-year-old businesswoman Sohodra Ganeshan was robbed of her cell phone and gold jewelry. The schoolgirl was relieved of her iPhone and a gold ring worth $200,000. An 18-year-old cashier, Ralph Sarwan, lost a laptop, 3 cell phones, and $300,000 in cash. The restaurant's proprietor, 59-year-old Richard Ganeshan, was assaulted and forced upstairs where more valuables were stolen. Sarwan was also beaten during the ordeal. As the bandits fled, one suspect forced the schoolgirl into a wild-field wagon and sped off. However, their getaway was short-lived as the driver lost control on the Pole-Drawing public road, crashing into a trench. Police quickly responded, arresting 2 suspects, 21-year-old Percival Aaron called Barban, a laborer from Thomas Street, Georgetown, and Isaiah Bowen called Pranks, a 19-year-old from Church Street, Stanleytown, West Bank, Demerara. The abducted teen was safely rescued. The police found several of the mentioned stolen articles in the vehicle. Crime scene ranks processed the scene and retrieved footage from CCTV cameras affixed to the bar. Both injured victims received medical treatment, and the arrested suspects remain in custody as investigations continue. In other news, after nearly 6 years of legal proceedings, justice has finally been served as businessman Ryan Shogrim has pleaded guilty to the brutal 2019 murder of his ex-wife, Zalia Sugrim. His admission of guilt before Justice Navendra Singh in the Demerara High Court on Tuesday abruptly ended the long-running case. Sentencing is set for March 18, 2025. The tragic incident unfolded on May 11, 2019, when Zalia visited Ryan's home in La Union, West Coast Demerara, reportedly to see their children on the son's birthday. An argument ensued after Zalia allegedly found suspicious numbers in Ryan's phone. He later claimed that she pulled his firearm and threatened him, leading to a struggle between them, during which the gun accidentally discharged, shooting her in the face and killing her instantly. Instead of seeking help, Ryan panicked and attempted to conceal the crime. He burned Zalia's body behind his gas station using tires and kerosene, later burying the remains in a shallow grave. His efforts to avoid suspicion included misleading his children and neighbors about the gruesome scene. Concerns over Zalia's disappearance escalated by May 13, leading police to search Ryan's property. Investigators uncovered burnt remains in the yard and found bloodstains in his car. The chilling discovery of Zalia's buried body wrapped in cloth confirmed suspicions. Further forensic analysis, including DNA testing in Florida, officially identified the remains as Zalia's. Ryan was arrested and charged with murder. When confronted, he chillingly responded, quote, "Is stress caused this sting," end of quote. Updates will be provided as sentencing approaches. The case has sparked renewed conversation about domestic violence in Guyana. If you or anyone you know is a victim of domestic violence, you should call the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security 914 hotline to get help. On a different note, residents of Den Amstel are speaking out against what they describe as subpar rehabilitation work on the community's recreation ground. They claim that the contractor responsible for the project is failing to meet basic construction standards, sparking frustration and concerns within the village.
We are not accepting this. It is total disgrace to the people of this community.
President of the Den Amstel Football Club and Secretary of the Management Committee of the club, Denise Lovell, said in a previous meeting with Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture Charles Ramson Jr., the Management Committee advised him that they did not have confidence in the contractor awarded the contract for the rehabilitation of the ground. According to the grounds management committee members, they do not agree with the ongoing work, which they deem unacceptable.
This work that we are complaining about now, we cannot accept it. It is unbecoming. And Darren Jordan, who is the representative for the PPP, he said the Den Amstel people don't want progress. So we are here this afternoon to identify the progress that we have to accept. If you look at the fence, this is our main concern. The fence we had was a very strong fence. They removed our material and they installed these materials. They cut out the posts, they nail it with nail, no bolt or nut. They have some tin zinc under the pavilion there. I say it looked like newspaper. When that zinc put on this shabby looking fence, we are at the salt air. And the footballers playing football. And the ball hit this fence, it go right down to the ground.
One of the main complaints is the poor quality of the fencing around the community center. Residents have pointed out multiple faults in the structure, including improperly planned layouts, shortened wooden planks that were joined without proper reinforcement, and an overall lack of durability. They warn that the fence is not only unsightly, but also structurally weak, making it a disaster waiting to happen.
If you take a good look at the fence, you would notice some notch out in excess of 2 inches, top and bottom. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. No proper individual doing construction would not do this lousy work. This is substandard work we're talking about here. How could we accept these ignorance? This is not right.
The residents argue that what is supposed to be a project to employ community members is merely seeing only non-Guyanese persons who appear to be unskilled working on the project. Concerns are mounting over the quality of the project, with many arguing that the work does not meet the necessary standards.
This is the northern section of the ground, and if you look at this post here, they join the post till at the bottom here. Here's one of the posts that was taken out from the southern section and bring to this northern section. Look here. The same type of shoddy work here, but this is even worse.
The community is also calling for urgent intervention to ensure that the project meets proper construction standards before it is completed. Residents emphasize that the recreation ground is a vital space for sports, cultural events, and youth engagement. They do not want to see it compromised by an incompetent contractor. The situation in Den Amstel highlights a growing national issue regarding the quality of construction work carried out by contractors in Guyana. Residents and community leaders across the country have raised concerns about contractors delivering poor workmanship on government-funded projects, often without facing consequences. Many are calling for stricter oversight, quality control, and accountability to ensure that taxpayers' money is not wasted on substandard infrastructure. Stick around when we return. Guyana Police Force promotes over 600 officers, and GRA Chief Valuation Officer faces court over alleged fraudulent property valuation.
It's Digicell's 18th anniversary and we're going big with our blowout sale. Get up to 40% off Samsung smartphones. Yes, you heard that right. 40% off Samsung smartphones. Grab the Samsung A05 for just $17,000. The A15 for only $27,000. And the A25 at a jaw-dropping $35,000. But wait, there's more. With every purchase, enjoy a 30-day free data plan to stay connected. Hurry to a Digicel store near you. Offer good while stocks last. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
See clearly with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Welcome back. The Chief Valuation Officer of the Guyana Revenue Authority, Julian Barrington, appeared before the Georges Magistrates Court earlier today to face charges related to fraudulent property valuation. The charges were filed by the Criminal Investigations and Tax Evasion Division of GRA. Barrington, a resident of Block 3, Providence, East Bank, Demerara, stood before Magistrate Faith Auguste to answer to allegations. He is accused of assisting in the creation of a falsified certificate of value for a property at Lozignan, East Coast Demerara. The document allegedly misrepresented the property's development status, claiming it had been excavated, sand-filled, and leveled when it had not. This case highlights the importance of upholding the country's law, particularly in matters of taxation and property valuation, which directly impacts public trust and financial integrity. Barrington's case has raised concerns about the integrity of the property valuation process, and investigations are ongoing to determine the full extent of any potential wrongdoing. Fraudulent activities not only undermine the credibility of institutions, but also carry severe legal consequences for those involved. Authorities continue to emphasize the need for strict adherence to the law to maintain transparency and fairness in public administration. In other news, the Guyana Police Force has promoted more than 600 officers across both subordinate and senior ranks, marking a significant reshaping of the force's leadership. The long-awaited promotion list, which was released earlier today, takes effect from January 1st, 2025, and was approved by the Police Service Commission. The release of the promotion list coincided with the start of the Guyana Police Force's annual Officers' Conference at Ivlery. Speaking at the opening of that conference, Commander-in-Chief and President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali congratulated all the officers on their promotion.
Congratulate all those officers who were promoted. And let me also say that I have been advised by the Chair of the Police Service Commission that there are still other names under consideration. They have not completed the full consideration of all names. So there are other names under consideration. So
The promotions span multiple ranks from assistant superintendent to senior superintendent, with several officers also advancing to the prestigious rank of assistant commissioner. Leading the promotion list is Traffic Chief Mahendra Singh, who had been elevated from senior superintendent to assistant commissioner. Other notable promotions include Senior Superintendent D. Moore, K. Mandel, M. Kingston, S. Backus, and A. Das, reflecting the force's commitment to fostering internal leadership. Additionally, deputy superintendents and several officers have been recognized for their service and have received significant promotions. The president noted that a lot has been done to improve the Ghana police force, such as the accredited police academy, and much more will be done to ensure the well-being of its officers.
we're stronger together, we are better when we're together, and we are going to ensure that the future of the Guyana Police Force is not only strong for the protection of our country and protection of our people, but is also strong with the people who serve in the Guyana Police Force having the best conditions.
The conference is being held under the theme Building a Resilient and Contemporary Police Force, Strengthening Accountability, Innovation, and Partnership for Safer Communities. The three-day conference, which will run until March 1st, 2025, aims to enhance the occupational and strategic readiness of the Ghana Police Force, focusing on innovation, accountability, and strong community partnerships. Don't go away after the break. South Korea fights record low fertility rates with new initiative, and Grenada plans to decriminalize cannabis by mid-2025.
Digicel is celebrating 18 amazing years, and we're giving you the ultimate shopping spree. That's right, top up with $1,000 or more, and you could be one of 4 lucky winners, each walking away with up to $1 million in groceries. Imagine filling your carts with everything you need and more, absolutely free. Top up now and get ready to dash for carts full of groceries. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. In the Caribbean, Grenada's Agriculture Minister, Lennox Andrews, announced that cannabis decriminalization legislation will be introduced by mid-2025. The law will permit recreational and religious use, allowing adults over 18 to possess up to 28 grams and grow up to 5 plants. Similar to a 2021 proposal, the bill will protect Rastafarian religious use. The government aims to regulate cannabis while redirecting law enforcement resources to more pressing matters. Meanwhile, in Africa, at least 46 people died and 10 were injured after a Sudanese military plane crashed into a residential area of Omdurman. The Russian-built Antonov aircraft went down after takeoff, likely due to technical malfunction. The crash damaged homes, caused power outages, and injured civilians, including children. Sudan remains in turmoil as a war between the army and paramilitary RSF continues. We now turn our attention to South America, where electricity has been partially restored in Chile, but millions are still being affected by a massive power outage that's hit large swaths of the country. The blackout has left at least three-quarters of the population without electricity, including residents in the capital. Al Jazeera's Lucia Newman reports.
It was early afternoon when Chileans from northern Arica to the southern lakes region, a 2,600-kilometer-long stretch, abruptly found themselves without power. In the capital, there was mayhem. Millions of commuters left without metro services started walking. Traffic was at a standstill as people scrambled to try to get home, where many were still trapped in lifts. Such a widespread blackout had never happened before in Chile.
I feel like we've been sent back to the days of the caveman with no electricity at all.
The blackout occurred when a large transmission center in northern Chile that carries 500 megavolts of power suddenly failed.
We have no internet, no light. I can't work. Just waiting to take out the candles when it gets dark.
The Interior Minister announced a state of emergency precisely ahead of nightfall.
That means there will be a curfew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. so that no one can take advantage of the darkness to carry out crimes. Security of our citizens is a priority.
As she finished, power began to be re-established in some parts of the country. But the big question remains, what caused this blackout that impacted more than 19 million people, nearly the entire population of this country of 20 million? So far, nothing, not even sabotage, has been eliminated. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, Santiago.
Finally, South Korea has recorded a slight bump in the number of babies being born after years of decline. The country has the lowest fertility rate in the world, but figures just released show there were 238,000 births last year. That's an increase of 3.6%. Al Jazeera's Rob McBride reports.
Promoting a recent matchmaking event for Valentine's Day. Organised by Seoul City, it's aimed at encouraging more young people to meet and start families. In 2023, South Korea recorded the world's lowest ever fertility rate. That's the average number of births a woman has during her childbearing years, at 0.72. In Seoul, it was even lower at 0.55. But last year saw a slight rebound.
The number of births has rebounded for the first time in 9 years. There are three key factors behind this: demographic structure, changing perceptions of marriage, and an increase in the number of marriages.
The improvement is attributed in part to the recovery from the COVID pandemic and a number of measures taken by national and local government and businesses. They include allowing in overseas workers to be employed in childcare, giving more shared parental leave and benefits for school children. While Seoul is trying to ease the burden for couples to set up home in this expensive city.
Marriage also requires housing security, which is why we launched the My Advance House program, offering long-term rental housing at an affordable price.
In spite of the slight improvement in the birth numbers, South Korea still lags far behind all other developed nations, with a fertility rate that's less than half of what's needed for a stable population, meaning its chronic demographic troubles are still a long way from being fixed. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera, Seoul.
This brings us to the end of the regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's it to be 2 Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.